Well, hey there. I want to walk you through this week's assignment, which is to create a 30-minute sports television program. You're going to format a rundown for your own sports TV program. It can be a pregame show or a postgame show or a special of some sort. And what you're going to do is actually create the rundown. So for those of you who have had DNR, you've done things like this before. And what I'm looking for is your story judgment. So this all goes back to the very first assignment in class, right? Where you know your audience and we do the city rundown. What's important to your viewers? This is a 30-minute television show that you're going to put together. Now, in actuality, a 30-minute television show only has about 21 minutes in content. And why is that? Well, think about it. You've got 3 commercial breaks that for this will be 2 minutes apiece. You've got an open and a close, and that takes us to 28 minutes. And you say, well, why 28 minutes? Well, when the show is over, there's more commercials before the show at the top or bottom of the next hour begins, okay? So basically what you're going to have to come up with this assignment is 21 minutes of content. What will it look like? Well, what I've done is I've gotten the CBS affiliate in Roanoke put together a 30-minute Final Four preview show in the spring of 2019, obviously, when UVA made the Final Four. They called it Who's Number One. That's the name of the show. But more importantly, I want you to take a look at how Travis Wells, who's the sports director, formatted the show. So we actually have the rundown, and we actually have the show itself. 21 minutes worth of programming for you to look at. Both of them are in the Files tab. But I want to go through right now what I want you to turn in, because I don't want you to have to go out there. You're not flying to Minneapolis to shoot a show. You're not producing the show. You're producing the rundown for a show for any event. It could be a big league baseball game, whatever you think is coming up. They're half-hour pregame shows on every regional sports network before every NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and NFL game, and college games too, right? You pick the show, you pick the platform. So clearly this is for the CBS affiliate in Roanoke, Virginia. So their target audience is Virginia fans and college basketball fans, right? As the Who's made the Final Four. But let's take a close look now at Travis's rundown now. So again, if you've been in DNR, this isn't crazy for you. Don't worry about that first column, which is the page. The slug is what each thing will be. As you go through the show, you see everything from Travis live and the other talent throughout the show, which is Anthony Romano and Logan Sherrill and Victoria Wood. Their names appear in the slug. There are 7 packages in the course of this show, which we'll go through. There's a package on UVA, a package on Auburn, the coaches package that you see, which is a couple minutes long, that Travis did talks with Coach Bender and Coach McKay for their preview of both teams. Later in the show, in the second segment, you'll see Jimmy Miller package that Travis did. He's a former UVA player who's now one of their broadcasters. Later in the show, from Charlottesville, that's where Logan and Victoria are, talking about the atmosphere in Charlottesville. Logan did a package on a restaurant. Victoria did one on the fans in Charlottesville. And then later in the show, there's a package on a fan in Roanoke as well. So they have 7 packages in this entire program during the course of 21 minutes. And you can see who does it. The talent, clearly you see the talent is Travis or Logan or Victoria or a combination thereof. Type, you know what all those things are. SOT, sound on tape. It's a package, it's a toss, it's a live shot. The next column is time. You'll notice that they don't put the time for their live shots there because they're ad-libbing, and they build in time at the end to either fill at the end if they've gone short or to get off soon. So whenever you do a half-hour show, it's always good to have a live shot at the very, very end of the show that if you're behind, you can make up time real quick. For your purposes, don't worry about the graphics and don't worry about anything other than the total time. So on the far right side of this rundown is essentially the time of day, okay, in military time. So this show started at 7 p.m. and they were off at 7:27:15. That's when they were done, okay? I want you guys to go 28 minutes. I want your show to come on at the top of an hour or the bottom of the hour, and you're out at 28 or 58, okay? So simple. So how are you going to put this together? Well, you're going to pick your game, and maybe you don't need 7 packages. Maybe you want more than 7. I'm going to trust your news judgment, your judgment of how big the sporting event would be. For example, they're not going to have 7 packages in, say, the NFL Today pregame show because they've got 6 people on the set yipping and yapping and giving opinions. And so instead of a package, they've got experts. Everybody in the show, the Channel 7 put together for the Final Four, who was live, was one of their multimedia journalists. Had they had a panel of, say, Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith, who could talk about the game and break things down, or if this was SportsCenter, where they had, say, Seth Greenberg on set, right, and Xing and Oing and describing things, then you wouldn't have time for 7 packages. I'm leaving this up to you. If you're doing a Major League Baseball pregame show and you have Alex Rodriguez and Pete Rose and Frank Thomas on your set, which is what Fox had for the World Series, then you can have those guys yipping and yapping. Now, that's not true journalism. I want to see if you can put together 21 minutes of content for a half-hour television show, because in reality, your first job out of Virginia Tech is not going to be producing the World Series pregame show on Fox. It's going to be producing a half-hour television show for your local college that's made it to a bowl game, or a local high school that's made it to the state playoffs for the first time. And you're in Selma, Louisiana, where the local high school team is in the playoffs, and the local TV station has built together a package, a sales package that includes a half-hour television show, and you're the sports director. Go get one done. Well, how are you going to format it? So here's the deal. You've got 3 commercial breaks, 4 segments. Segment 1, commercial. Segment 2, commercial. Segment 3, commercial, and then your segment 4. My tip to you, have a live shot in segment 4 in case things run long and you get behind, you can get out. The problem with loading anything heavy on tape at the final segment when you're doing a show is you can't go over, right? This was before the CBS coverage began. You can't run over, and you can't edit a package once you're already on the air. So put your packages in segments 1, 2, and 3, and maybe at the start of segment 4, and then have some time at the end to get out if you're running late. All I need to see for this is a PDF uploaded. You could probably do this in Excel. For those of you that have had DNR, this is easy. I'm not looking for anything but what packages did you put together. I want a summary in paragraph form as well of what each package is. So don't just put coach's package. Say, well, I'm doing a pregame show of a high school playoff game, and I'm doing a interview with the coach and his legendary father, and we're going to do a package on that. Put that in there. Or I'm doing a Major League Baseball pregame show before a Nats-Phillies game, and I'm doing a big package on what fans think about Bryce Harper playing against the Nats. Or we're doing a Kentucky Derby half-hour show, and I'm doing a package on Louisville, Kentucky, and the history of Churchill Downs. Don't just put Churchill Downs package. I want to know what your packages are. That's what I'm looking for. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. It should be easy. You're going to turn in a PDF with the rundown on it, and then a summary of what each of your packages are, who your guests are, and what your thoughts are for your 21 minutes of content for your 30-minute show. I'm looking forward to seeing it.